Hi, Louisa Whitney from LKW Family Mediation. There's a quote that I've read quite a lot that's been attributed to Albert Einstein, and that says that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And it's a quote that always really resonates with me because I think it's very applicable when people separate. Quite often in mediation I see people that are going through the same loops over again in terms of sort of the same patterns or the same things that they discuss. And it's really not unusual. Even couples who don't separate and who live together often return to having the same argument over and over again, and that all arguments end up in the same place. And it's basically stuck patterns of conflict that are unresolved and mean that people go back into them. It can be particularly difficult when you separate because you feel like you're not making progress and that everything ends up back at the same point, which is demoralising for people. One of the things that I teach people is that actually it starts with making a decision that you're not going to do this anymore, that actually you are going to break this pattern of conflict. And often people say to me, well, how can I? The other person just won't play ball, they won't do it, we're going to end up back in the same place, it'll be the same argument. Don't underestimate how powerful it is for one person to just make the decision that they're not going to do that anymore. They're not going to go round that pattern of conflict. They're going to do things differently. So the first step is really making a decision that you're not going to do that anymore. The second decision is, how are you going to stay calm? What are you going to do that's going to mean that instead of going straight back onto the same loop of the discussions or the argument or whatever you want to call it, what are you going to do differently? And sometimes it can just be stopping still, taking some deep breaths and actually just saying, I don't want to have this argument, let's talk about it a different time, or let's use this in our next mediation session, or actually this isn't productive, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And it's really powerful for two reasons. Particularly I want to focus on why it's powerful when there are children involved. One is that all of the evidence points to the fact that separation itself of parents is not necessarily harmful for children. What is harmful is getting stuck in patterns of conflict and feeling that they aren't free to have a relationship with both parents. So it's powerful because you're freeing your children to have a better future in that respect and to not have to witness that conflict. Secondly, you're teaching your children how to resolve conflict or to move forward and modelling that behaviour to them. You know, we all get stuck in arguments, we all have things that make our hackles rise or make us cross or irritable. And part of a learning lesson in life is to learn how to deal with that. So that's something that you are teaching your children about, how to move forward when that happens, and that you don't just have to go into an argument. You can say, stop, pause, I'm going to do this differently. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you.